Welcome to Always Dolls. In today's spring themed tutorial, we make vegetables for your doll to harvest. In this craft, I used mini plastic vegetables that I found at our local dollar store, a variety of hole punches, paint, PVA glue, and hot glue. I started by cutting out different size circles. The largest has a diameter of 7.5 centimeters and the smaller 5 centimeters. It's okay if you don't have the punches to do this. Look around the house for shapes that you can trace out, like an empty Pringles can lid. My head of lettuce, I used 2 different colours of cardstock. The first is a dark green and the second is a more emerald green. I layer these in alternating colours, and in some cases I need 2 per layer. Next up, I start to scrunch the cardstock, really working it in my hands. This helps give it texture and adds to the realism of the lettuce head. For the first piece, I need to cut it in half so that I have 2 semicircles. Then I continue to crumple and scrunch the rest of the pieces. Here is what it will look like when you're ready to assemble the lettuce. Taking the first semicircle, I roll it into a cone shape. This is the inside of the lettuce. Now, using my hot glue gun, I put a small line of glue along the straight edge, then roll it up tight. Next, I take the other semicircle, put glue on the edge, and wrap it around. Using my fingers, I pinch the bottom to keep it in place while the glue sets. With an emerald green full circle, I put the glue in the middle like a well. Then I pop the rosette head in, pinch around, and hold it in place. Take 2 more pieces of dark green and start to layer it around the edge. This will give your lettuce bulk. Keep layering using alternating colours until you are happy with the size of your lettuce. Then take the largest circle and glue it onto the back for a nice clean finished look. For our carrots, I used these mini plastic corn. I took a toothpick and pushed a hole into the top. Then I took that emerald cardstock and made thin slices. When it was about 1 centimeter in length, I trimmed it off. Then using my bone folder, curled the paper over into a tight cut. Then I push it into the head of the carrot. Again, using my bone folder, I curl the tops in different directions. I thought this helps give the carrot an organic look, as though your doll has just picked it out of the ground. For my tomatoes, I used these mini green plastic apples and red acrylic paint. It took 2 layers to get it the colour I wanted. Then, for the stem, I used some more cardstock and my snowflake punch. Then, taking a brad punch, I put a hole in the centre. Now it slips easily on top of my painted apple. But so it doesn't look so much like a strawberry, I used my scissors and cut into the detail. Then I added glue to the top and pressed it down. Lastly, I took some green paint and painted in the stem and on the top. For my eggplant, I used these yellow oval shapes. I took a violet acrylic paint and painted my eggplant. This took nearly 3 coats for the desired colour. Next, I made the stem using the same snowflake pattern, only I drew it out much larger. Once I cut it out, I used a combination of green and brown to paint the top. Then I cut down a toothpick to 3 centimetres and inserted it into the top of the eggplant. When I was ready, I pressed my painted leaves on top and held them in place. Lastly, to seal all the colour in, I used clear nail polish on the stem, leaf and the eggplant. Now your vegetables are done. It's a delightful, delicious harvest.